Oh. Bonge? Kama msini najisikia. Bongeni, hebu chukua microphone. Ini nitakuwa bongeni. Tusiengeji na turekodi. Lakini ina shida ile wacha ibaki. Wacha kizibaki. Neno ile hapa kuna port nyingine ya kurekodi. Kuna port nyingine ya sound.
So he's okay with the mic. Nimemshikia mic akiwa kwa mic. So wewe uko nako. Okay. So okay.
Hi, nanisikia? You want me to say more?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Hi. How are you? What's up?
Just say the mitambo.
Wangu ni kucheka bure. Wanacheka bure sana, cheka. Tunacheka si watu.
Silence on set. Showtime Studios, Showtime Cinema, Addiction, take one, action.
Hello guys and welcome to today's episode of Let's Talk. Today we kama kawaida tuko na Dubs Africa, and we also have a special guest, Ariana Kimani, about addiction. But before we start the topic, we also have Specs the Spectacular, who is among the audience. He's going to talk to us later, but then you're going to give the microphone to, we're going to pass it over to Ariana, who's going to introduce herself. And of course, we're going to have our host today, our Dubs Africa, who are going to tell us who they are, and of course about our topic today. Karibu sana, Ariana.
Asante. Hi, my name is Ariana Daphne Wambui Kimani, and I live in Nyeri. I was born in Nairobi though, but I'm an interior designer. But I tend to be involved in a lot of mental health, addiction, and community services. So that's how I'm involved in this show. And thank you for inviting me.
Hi guys, Sasimi, and it was Cynthia, psychology student, and I am a member of Dubs. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, hi everyone. Hello.
Sorry.
My name is Arken, member Dubs and a psychologist.
Okay. Good. Karibu sana. So today we are talking about addiction. Obviously, people out there think that you're talking about just one form of addiction, which is drug addiction, but they don't know how broad the topic is. So maybe we can start by explaining to people what addiction is. Maybe we can start with our guest today, Ariana. Maybe or Cynthia is going to tell us, what addiction is.
Maybe Cynthia can start so that yeah.
Okay, kulingana na mimi, addiction, it's being hooked up to something. Na unajua consequences sio poa. Yeah, but you still continue doing the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So are there any forms of addiction?
Yeah, actually there are two types. When it comes to addiction, there's the behavior one. The behavior one is for example, I can say maybe gambling, maybe sexual addiction, phone. So that comes on the behavior. Then there's the chemical one. The chemical one is the one that comes into drugs, all sorts of drugs. Yeah.
Okay.
There are two types.
So how do I know that I am addicted to a certain thing? Maybe you mentioned of drugs. How do I know that I'm becoming an addict of drugs?
Well, I suppose when you're talking about addiction, by the time you're saying you're becoming an addict, it's not in the initial stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's you've used it and then you did it again and then again. And now, by the time we are calling it an addiction, it's when I can come to you and say, now you need to stop. But then you'll be like, yeah, it's fine. I'm going to be able to stop next week. I won't do it, but you still can't stop.
All right.
So now by this time, it's already like a program in your brain. So it's like, that's why it's an addiction. You keep going back to it. It's a cycle.
All right. Are there like symptoms or signs that I should watch out for? Apart from that, that craving of keep doing what you want to do or what you're doing, are there other symptoms I should watch out for when it comes to addiction? Maybe you can have Cynthia. Yes.
Okay, kitu ya kwanza, you find most of the times unataka kukua peke yako. So kama maybe uko addicted to masturbation, definitely utakaa na watu.
Alright.
And then unapata sometimes uko na emotional outburst, like unakasirika tu bure. You are anxious, like every time unapata tu like hadi unashtuka mwenyewe, unajishuku like watu hawajui maybe una smoke, but wewe mwenyewe ukiwa kwa watu unajishuku mwenyewe.
Okay. Yeah. So can one addiction lead to another? Like for example, if I'm addicted to masturbation, can it lead to me being addicted to something else?
I think it can. Juu ukiwork na vile addiction inakuja, addiction actually it's a kind of a brain disease.
Right.
So when you start addicting, you become addicted to something, inaweza lead up to another thing. Juu unapatanga the moment you are addicted to something, there's a dopamine. Dopamine are released on a brain. So when you do something interesting ama kitu fun, the dopamine with other chemicals inakuwa released.
Okay.
So maybe for example kama uko addicted na drugs, the moment unaendelea kufanya una feel dopamine endelee kureleasiwa. So maybe una shift kitu kingine ni itaendelea kurelease the dopamine.
Okay. Yeah. So mostly addiction affects the biological part of it. It's not like psychological and biological, they're like two different things. So there's that biological part of addiction.
There's the biological part and psychological part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you explain the like psychological part?
Psychological inaweza come in terms, for example, the psychological part unaanza maybe depression, anxiety.
Okay.
So then the biological, so ndio inaweza kuja maybe kama mtu ana addict, for example, maybe kama ni drugs, say injecting, hizo so ndio inakuja the biological part. Then kuja kwa lungs, kuna heart disease, lung, throat, yeah.
Okay. So I really wanted to ask this question today because when I was in high school, I used to have music addiction. I don't know if that's normal. Like I started becoming like more of an introvert. I didn't like socializing with people. Every time I'm with people, I want to listen to music. Is it like an interest or is it an addiction? Can you be addicted to other things apart from drugs and masturbation, pornography, and all these obvious things people think that they can be addicted to? You can also be addicted to a person. I don't know if that's true. People say that. I don't know how true that is. Maybe Ariana can elaborate on that.
Based on the explanation you just gave about dopamine, you see how addiction works. It's that, this is what happens in your brain before you started using drugs. Usually by the time unaanza na drug addiction, it's not that it was the drug. It wasn't the drug that actually affected your brain initially. So drug addiction actually is like something that starts from parenting, and because I'm a society, and then brain yako inakuwa damaged. So there's this dopamine receptors, they become reduced, zina shrink. So unatafuta drug yenye itafanya dopamine increase.
Okay. So there's some drug that...
So you ask, can you be addicted to one? You obviously hawezi kuwa to one, because when you understand dopamine imereduce, this happy, is it a happy hormone? It's like somehow like a happy hormone.
Is there any oxytocin?
Yes, there's oxytocin, but there's like dopamine is there. It's just like a happy hormone. So what dopamine does was it can increase your happiness. So that's what I'm like addicted to so many things. First of all,
Okay.
and then sorry, remind me what you had asked.
Sorry?
Can you look at me?
Or I had asked whether there's a prescription drug for...
No, there's no prescription drug. But what you can actually do is to go and seek help. So like we usually say seek help, medical, nini. But it's more relationships. See helps are medical.
Okay.
You need to be a relational being because any brain damage. And nikikupea medicine haitaku nini haraka. But if you are very low and I walk into the room, I'll cheer you up instantly. Okay. So it's like there's no medicine really, but the solution is really to be a relational being, which is why one of the symptoms on is isolation.
Okay.
Anasonga kando.
Yeah.
Because niyo damage ana yo capability to relate.
Okay, what about a situation where when, for example, in a new relationship or something, especially the girl child, you just feel like you just want to be with somebody all the time, you just want to hang out with them. Is that like an addiction, or is it like interest, or is it about love, like a feeling bringing in addiction?
I just remembered what I was I love that. I think when talking about dopamine, that's why I was talking about dopamine, because dopamine is this happy feeling. It doesn't matter as long as you're producing dopamine and it makes you feel good and you keep doing it. That's an addiction. So it can be positive or negative. But I think the society tends to focus more on the negative side of addiction. Because even a workaholic, that's a positive addiction.
Addiction, exactly. Actually, I was going to that question, ask you, is there negative or positive addictions? So like being a workaholic, is it really negative or positive? It's more of positive, but sometimes it has like negative effects.
It will have negative effects, but it's more positive. That you see, when you're working and you're getting this reward system, because working is about the reward system.
Exactly.
You do something, yes, dopamine. You go back to it, yes, dopamine. So you keep going back to it. But I think the society is you're drinking, because ndio tunaona hiyo addiction but atufikiri udewa shinanga job like and yeah it's like it's a normal addiction, it's a positive
Za chipin kidogo
yeah
amesema story na addiction. I think the moment inakuwa addiction, for example kama ni workaholic, the moment inaanza kuinterfere na relationship
ukembo ukuja home ukujangi
patekani sasa nyingi ndizo kwa extent unaanza maybe unaanza kuseek but kama haijaanza kuinterfere you're good.
Exactly. Okay. Now, so as we continue with this show, kindly our guests, our audience, please make sure that you have commented below. Please feel free to ask any question. And now I want to narrow down to a topic people don't like discussing a lot, and it's about pornography addiction. I think pornography has led to so many types of addiction. Like if you ask the world how many people watch pornography today, we have like a big percentage, but people are scared of talking about it. So let's talk about pornography addiction. So tell us how it affects someone's life as an addiction, and how do I know that I'm becoming a pornography addict?
Okay, kitu ya kwanza unapaswa kujua ni most of the people wenye watch porn, masturbation ukonga next. So ni kama venye tumesema addiction moja na kupeleka kwa wengine. So ukipata most of the times like hadi maybe ukikatiwa na msee and then unafika point ya kukua intimate like hadi utaki, you know, like umezoea it's porn, you masturbate ni okay with it. But unafikanga point unapata like hadi mkikuwa intimate na mtu au skin uko satisfied hadi ile time uta masturbate, it's when it's unasikia niko poa.
Yeah, because you see, like pornography, when you watch pornography, it gets to your brain, right? So there's that expectation that you expect in somebody. You know, there are those expectations you're expecting from your spouse. So how does that lead to other addictions? Or okay, another question is, how do I know that I'm becoming a pornography addict? Somebody.
For me, I think when you know you're becoming a pornography addict, but also I've talked to so many people and they're doing this concoction of porn.
What?
Yeah, like kuna when you start from this video and then you go to this one and then there has to be another one so that it can mix up properly to give you the set of you want. But you see that hiyo itakuwa affect kwa relationship yako because suppose umezoea kupata coming from that level and then I meet someone atafanya vitu mingi sana na sitakuwa pleased because no matter what hajafikiri kitu nilikuwa natafuta. It has created a fantasy that will not be ever achieved realistically. And that is why I think watu wengi wanakuwa affected so much na porn. And so because of that, because you're really not satisfied sexually, unaanza kutafuta alternatives. Inaweza kuwa weed, cocaine, heroin, whatever. And that's why I remember I mentioned it to you one time. I was like, you know, Eva, porn is the start of all addictions. And she laughed. And I was like, yeah, because that's the ultimate dopamine effect. Usipopata hiyo, unatafuta alternative. And that's why usually people watch porn. Usually ukisikiza, there's drug addiction, alcoholism, abuse. It goes all the way. And it's all connected to the one thing. Na hiyo kitu yote ni dopamine. When you understand addictions zote, people are not addicted to things because they're sick.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to kill themselves. They were feeling worse and then they tried to do something to feel better. And then they felt better. So they started a cycle. Until it became an addiction. And it's no longer helping you, but now it's destroying you. But so in denial. Because how do you explain a drug yenye inakupea dopamine every time you're using it? 20 years later, okay, tumia bado na feel poa. Because even though to justify weed, unajua weed unasikianga tu poa, and it's true, una feel tu poa. Unajaribu justify, how is it something that feel nice? But unasahau hiyo part ya, yes, una feel poa, but hakuna kitu kingine unakwanga productively. That's true. We don't talk about that side. So that's it, like, hiyo ndio effect ya dopamine. It's that excitement. Kila mtu anaitafuta in whatever way you want it. Na hiyo ndio ina affect watu kwa porn. Ndio maana umekwama hapo. Because there's this thing people say, oh, sijui nini. You listen. I listen to people because I keep asking very random questions and I'm not afraid. But then when I scare mtu anakwambia, because like someone was like, it was at a party and they were like, so me, I got the back, someone at the front. I'm like, the fact that si wote tumeka hapa na tunasikiza tells me what is going on in our society.
Watching, and they're actually scared of saying it because it's something that is, people just hide doing.
And I'm like, the fact that tumeka hapa tunasikiza na tuna contribute to that joke. So mimi nilikuwa tunaangalia kila mtu, I'm like, you see, this is the effect. This is actually the effect of how it's affecting people's lives. Tuko kwa crowd, and this is what we are talking about. Technically, if you listen to it, I don't think the girl is happy with the terms that are being discussed at that moment.
Okay, so first of all, something people don't understand is that pornography is actually acted. Whatever you see there, it's just acted. These are people who are actually, some of them are even married.
Yeah.
And I don't think they do whatever they do there at home. So it's just like it's kind of like roots. Okay, let's talk about how pornography addiction ruins your brain, like the biological part of it. Which part goes? Which part like is gone?
So I think that on your porn, na porn peke. Addiction, the forms do the research that was done. Agreement of a brain, ilichukuliwa brain ya the addicts wenyewe. Venye anatumia drugs, then ikachukuliwa na wengine ilikuwa I think phone. So ukiangalia brain scan inaonyesha hakuna difference yote. The gray matter imereduce kwa wote. So na brain matter niko kwa brain ina work na CNS, central nervous system. So ina work na maybe memory, emotions, feelings, everything.
Okay, so speaking of pornography and all this type of addiction, like let's see how the social media has brought about addiction. Like for me, I listen to my music on social media. I watch things on social media because we know that there's been a lot of effect when it comes to social media. The kind of there's a lot of skin being exposed, being displayed and stuff. The kind of topics that are being displayed. So how has social media contributed to the levels of addictions? What type of addiction has it brought?
Kwanza tukianza na hiyo yenye watu sema Series Tuesday, on Tuesday, and then sijui Friday, that's the tenor, sijui umekuwa ni sama ni nini, I don't know.
There's Thursday. It's like there was this someone actually released like a whole timetable week because it was like, I don't remember. I'll send it to you.
So you guys,
it was like Monday was for something, Tuesday was for something. I remember just joking about it. Yeah. There's like
what?
Yeah, and it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Every day there's oh man.
That's what I'm saying is unapata kasa hii status za watu it's on a mwenyewe wanajipost kwa status. Kila mtu amepost zenye ziko available. So ukiona hizi picha zenye unapata ukienda Twitter, hizi vitu ziko like unapata kuna backshots what like ukizichukua hapo unapost kwa status. So after one picha is Tuesday, after one hizo news kuna chenye kinakonga kwa so sababu maybe 60 students unakaa peke yako, you're not married, so after most kwa vijana husema hizi vitu zinafanywa kuwe huni. Waka kijana umewatch hizo TV si ni mingi, so unakuwa
wait, what?
Yeah,
like when you watch this like titties you become like holy. How
funny.
Mingi.
I heard holy.
Ukikuwa honi sababu hauna so unafanya nini?
Masturbation,
so ni porn, then masturbation. So it's hizi vitu zenye ziko sahihi social media zina contribute sana kwa masturbation na addiction.
Do these guys like get paid or something? Like when you post your titties and you get like a couple of bucks or something?
That's for fun.
No, some people are actually aiming to get paid. I was doing watch like this. I was doing research actually on this actresses because I was very curious what it means to be like a situation between a prostitute and a porn actress. because they don't call themselves for. So ndo nilikuwa nafanya research and I realize hiyo kitu ya teachers Thursday ikianza, it's like yeah, kuna wenye wameingia innocently wanafikiria it's for fun, but kuna mwenye akona aim specifically, anajua if I have this amount of followers and this amount of people, at some point it's gonna start bringing in money. So una compete na mtu ako serious, wewe hauko serious. And that's why hata ikifika ni tu, you know, it's like there was this time where porn was banned in like 2008. But you know why they didn't ban it? Because people took live cams now. Ukisikiza huyo dem unako like, oh my god, why would you, you see at some point traffic yenye itapata, you're gonna get paid. And these people are getting like $600-700 per session. So some people are actually serious.
Teenage kid and they're on social media. They're okay. Most of they cannot avoid this stuff. When you're sitting in a matatu somewhere and then you're just next to like somebody who's like the age of your mom or your dad, and on the screen there, the kind of song that is playing, and you cannot even tell the total like what driver, just, you know, you just have to watch it and listen
And pretend you don't know what is being said.
Exactly. So what are we supposed to do as parents? Because some of these things we cannot pretend that they're not there and our kids are going to see them. What are we supposed to do?
So actually, I think for teenagers, even for children, I think it is apply, but unafaa kuambia, I think the first thing unafaa kufanya, walk through them ni what is addiction, screen time ni nini, effects zake ni nini. Then pia unaweza encourage, apart from screen time, unaweza fanya apart from screen. So physical activity, maybe kama ni play an instrument, maybe kama game, anything. Na pia I think as a parent unafaa kuset, maybe kama ni time ya dinner ama supper, hakuna simu. Unaona? Like this they are free areas. Supper can't kwa hapa kama tunaongea hakuna simu kwa around, unaona?
Yeah, and something else I wanted to advocate for parents. Please, for example, don't let your child like access your phone. Just you just place it there and they just like unlock it. Especially if you know that you have content that is not supposed to be watched by kids, because sometimes we find ourselves like, for example, you're looking at a photo or something, or you are at a certain site. Don't judge me, but you're at a certain site, and then you just locked your phone, and then you left it there. Your kid knows your password, so the first thing they're going to come and take it, they're just going to open the screen, and they're going to like. So please, one thing I want to advocate for parents, please, just don't let your kids access your phones without permission. And whenever they access your phones, please make sure that you have actually, yeah. So, children. That's for teenagers, yeah? Let's go to the children. What are some of the kind of addictions that they get, the kids for 5 years, 6 years? Do they have like the addictions or something? Cartoons, TV,
candy.
Yeah, exactly, candy. Yeah.
One of the addictions that children suffer from. See, first of all, by the time you say you have an addiction, it's a repeated pattern of something you've been doing to avoid something.
Yeah.
Young children, usually it's candy, TV. Because you see, a lot of addiction comes about from stress. So kids are usually stressed, but they don't know how to say it. And especially if they come from backgrounds where the parents are not agreeing. You know, a child will not come and say, you mom and dad, you guys keep fighting.
Yeah.
I can't deal with this anymore. So what you'll start noticing is maybe your child turns to isolate. That's one sign. Also, another thing, they tend to be in their homes a lot. Like atatoka kwa sitting room, anakanda kwa bedroom. Then there's TV addiction, candy addiction, and also kunaweza kuwa na tu addiction to kulala, avala tu sana. It's like there's little things utaanza tu kuobserve hapo na unajua hapo, because that's hizo tu addictions zenye ameanza hizo ndo atakiwa na drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hapo ndio itaanza because ataenda TV is no longer satisfying. And it's like maybe I want to see the real thing now. And to the real thing is no longer satisfying them.
So they cap that with drugs. Okay.
The biggest cause of addictions is not actually the drugs themselves being in circulation. The biggest cause of addiction is actually just us as a society not being relational, even with our children.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of stress levels because even how you can easily start an addiction in a child. I'm not a parent, but now observing vitu. It's like, suppose maybe you're fixing your car.
Yeah.
You're washing the house, baby is fixing the car. Mtu yenye anakuja, Dad, I've just seen this butterfly, but Dad is totally out of it.
Exactly.
Dad anataka kusikia how your grades are, how you improving, and then because hizo ndio vitu ataki kurudi back down to the level of this child. Yeah. So what happens is mtu yeye analan kushut off hiyo side yake sana I block. Saki ku approach anakujia on a serious note. So let's talk about your car.
Yeah.
And let's talk about my grades. And let's talk about alafu akiendea mom. Kumbuke dada shut out.
Yeah.
Akiendea mama anamwambia no. Right now I'm doing cleaning. We'll talk later. See, kuna hii kitu yenye sisi parents tunakwanga tumeset like we're like unajisetia hii pattern you think because nimemprovide nyumba nini this kid is fine. Yeah. But anataka hiyo mom nimeona butterfly. Yeah. Oh really? Yeah. Okay, that's good. And I think that's what I picked up from white people. Because they're very good with those things. Like, oh, here's a butterfly. Unaona kwanza ana sit up, ana take time kuangalia.
African mom.
I don't think you'll be telling an African mom nimeona butterfly na sit up. Na sit up na anze kupay attention on what color is. If you're approaching an African mom is because you want food to do something. You better be a serious person.
Please.
So it's like, okay, you're kukana your absenteeism ya. You're not necessarily a bad parent. Ni venye tu haujui unamshut out.
Yeah, exactly.
So mtu ya kila kublock hizo area. Hapo ndo ana realize instead ya kuongea na dad na kuongea na mom, mtu tu watch TV. And also another develop mechanism ya watch TV because anaona maybe akiwatch TV ndio sasa suddenly dad amekuja, mama amekuja sasa wana watch. So like, oh, so this is the only time, this is how we bond. What happens ni mtu anacha kuongea, hasemi whatever is happening, unaanza sa to habits, ana shut down, stress levels is na increase. I don't know if you have a child who keeps doing this.
Oh, that's happening. Yeah.
Umekazwa?
What about when the men?
All parents keep asking, umekazwa? Unataka kwenda lose? Mtu yeye anafanya hivi mguu, ama mwingine anashindanga hivi, ama ukiangalia mtu na
Yeah.
Anxiety is there in so many forms. You don't need to be like saying I have anxiety. Ama tu atoke umeka still. Na ina anafanyanga kidole hivi. There's something you're doing just to show me. So that's hapo ndo watu wanaanza sasa utaanza kunotice kwa mtu wako maybe anafanyanga hivi. Ana shake mguu, ana shake. Unafikiria ayo mtu hii. And then instantly ukimtoa kwa TV anakasirika na ukimtoa kwa TV akasirika anaanza kushake mguu. Ameshapata pattern ya addiction hapo.
Okay. So these are some of the symptoms you should look out for. Okay, we have like so many forms of addiction. Pornography, we have even music, we have the candy and stuff. But then maybe in our next session, maybe we're going to go for a break, and then you're going to continue talking about the forms of addiction. And I think the next time we're going to tackle masturbation, because that's also another topic that people don't want to talk about. I'm going to tackle masturbation addiction, and please make sure our audience, if you have any type of addiction that you want us to tackle, make sure that you comment below so that we tackle it in our next session. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next session. Thank you.
Was that good?
Yeah, it was great.
Imagine.
Yaani una sweat.
But iko poa. Ngoja umesema next ni masturbation.
Masturbation and any other yenye. Nani Simon tusomea like what people are saying there.
Masturbation. Umejua masturbation?
How is it? Cairo. How is it? It's a bit
The audio. Have you seen what the
iko poa.
topic ingine?
Madam, tunauliza swali mzito. Unauliza swali mzito, unaweka matope. Na mimi niko hapa kama nijibu. I was just like, let's do this. Ati? Oh, thank you.
I told you, kwani ulikuwa unajidoubt?
Huko unajidoubt.
Nani akujidoubt?
Ulikuwa unajua unachagua nini? Oh, Eva, these mixes go off.
Iko off.
Hmm?
Uko unasikika na lolote?
No, nakuuliza sahi.
No, sasa unasikika na kamera. Like kiongea hapo hivi kwa live.
So like privilege.
Apo give us the maybe something. Huh?
Other issue.
Sana hapa tunaingia
Yeah.
So tunaingia kwa nini
Yes,
kwa
go repetitive hata kidogo.
Okay, ya kwanza ni kwa mtu anaweza fanya aje ndio kukua hiyo nini. Ya kwa
The solutions
ya
now.
kwa
This is the
it's a get question.
treatment or something.
Like how can you avoid
Get
being a
prevention.
prevention? Okay, prevention mention. adult anakadio. So like ukisikia amejifungia kwa bedroom, immediately unasikia tu mama ameenda like unajua hata sijui mtoto anafanya nini kwa simu. Anakuambia tu mimi naongea na beshte yangu niko video
even active when she's a child. When it comes to a boy, it starts becoming active when they are like teenagers. Yeah. So, well, wow, that's deep. Like when they start fingers and stuff. But when let us first of all, before even go to if kids are like addicted to masturbation or like exploring that topic further. So let's just look at what are some of the ways in which people masturbate. I think it's the high time we start talking about that, because probably a kid could be doing it and they don't even know what they do, isn't it? So it's good. What are some that topic? Maybe Ariana.
Yeah, the other one was watch.
Like it's a chess game, right? But there's this part where these two girls are in the bathroom, and they're 15 and they're in an orphanage, and the other one is teaching the other one how to masturbate. So it's like they're telling them. And my sister was like 10 years old, akiwa chapo hiyo kitu, and we didn't expect that scene. But then I thought that's one way, because alikuwa anamwambia, you start by touching yourself. There's like anaisema.
Okay.
So it's like, I think that's one way, touching yourself.
Right.
Or I don't know, maybe just watching people, a serial killer shit, I don't
What? Spelling?
Because I'm trying to imagine what are the forms.
Not forms, like ways, I don't know. Brush it off.
I think this mapile. I think ile story ya Samantha.
The time Samantha alikuwa amevuma na wasichana tulikuwa tunasema we in deep trouble,
Yeah.
Actually nilikuwa nasikia hata kuna ingine imekuja that unaweza ni kama it's a doll kikiss sawa kama kwa long distance, so you kiss the doll but now as in you can't connect, kind of like something like that.
So you need two dolls.
So like, is there like a doll on my side and a doll on, and then you can say
At the same time, but you can Bluetooth in a connect.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's true, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it
kiss my
myself.
girlfriend who is like in Mombasa.
So you like the kiss Bluetooth?
So wait, so the other doll will be kissing me ama nimekaa hapo ninangoja ama naona
How unajua pia bado una kiss na yani kiss. So you guys na connect, so whatever na feel tu una feel.
Different.
It mimics.
Exactly.
Like
It mimics.
yeah, it mimics. It's also the same.
Okay, maybe you can pass the microphone to her.
Yeah. Just stop.
Okay, it mimics how your partner does it, especially like mostly it's done when it's sex. So maybe let's take an instance, it's a man and now anabai doll yenye ina mimic the vulva of the lady, the vagina. So when they are actually having sex in session, inakuanga kando. So no, it's timed. So in a time how long it takes and how far it goes and the movements. So time yenye ako mbali anaitumia, but it will mimic the girlfriend.
Oh, so it's a recording doll.
Yeah, it's a recording doll. It's it's sort of an intelligent doll.
Yeah.
That's so much coding.
Yeah.
Wow. AI is so much coding. I don't know. Okay, I would really like to know how that thing works.
You've been curious.
No, for real. I would really like to know how that thing works. Because it's still not making sense.
Specs is very interested.
Yeah. Mrs. J is scared doll. Come on, yo.
Also, on that part, we are asking about how kids also can the different styles of masturbation. There are these very big teddy bears that you find child is always cuddling na anaeka katikati ya miguu.
Yeah.
So when they rub their genitalia on them, it's also a form of masturbation. And also pillows. They also use pillows. And trousers also, when the trouser is very tight in the genital. So when they rub
So-
it rubs.
So it's like, so what I'm wondering is, this kid when I'm just with pillows, was it that alikuwa too curious akaeka pillow, ama is it that something actually leads
No,
them
you
to
see,
thinking that?
especially for girls, when you see something like when you're like a child, probably you see like people like deep kissing. That's why when we were kids, we were not like allowed to watch The Bold and the Beautiful and stuff. Okay, new generation, ni Z ama ni X,
Yeah, nimewatch
hamwezi
those.
elewa. But when you are watching like the soap operas and stuff at home, unaambia na mzazi wako uende. But I remember when I was a child, when I could watch somebody like kissing and stuff, I could get like some sort of like some feeling that I couldn't like explain. That's why I asked. And I'm not saying that I was masturbating, but there was that feeling I could get that wasn't like childish. It was more mature. Now I can understand it right now. That's why I was asking, do kids like masturbate, especially the girl child? When you see a child like seated somewhere and they're like crossing their legs and they're not even talking to anybody or any girl, that's another way of people like masturbate. Actually, can you find a girl like sitting and they're crossing their legs and they just masturbate, just staring at you and they're just masturbating and stuff.
I didn't understand.
It is just a way of
Yeah.
you just like have something in your head, like you think about something sexy that you saw or something sexual that you saw, and then you put that in your brain and just cross your legs and just press it, and then that's it. That's what I was saying. Hey.
Ati when you're pressed?
There's this thing, I don't know if we should call it a fetish or something. When unaona ukikazwa na mkojo sana, there's a way your roscoco is hard.
Yeah.
So when you press it, there's a way it stimulates that spark of anything. People masturbate to do that.
Yeah.
Women.
Thank you for the simplification. Women.
No,
Women.
you're not capable of doing that as men, but
Yeah.
so yeah, those are some of the. It's good that you talk about these things because the people probably do it, especially kids, and kids can start masturbating from even around 5 years.
Yeah.
Yes, your child can actually start masturbating.
But doesn't know.
Yeah,
They don't
but they
know.
don't know. But
They don't know at that point.
That's why. And then yeah, because the parent needs to know that my child, when they lock themselves in their room and probably they watch something or there's a way they're behaving, they lock themselves in their room or they're like in a certain position, they'll know that hey, my child is masturbating, and now it becomes a problem because they'll get used to it. They'll get used to it until now they're like older. It will become like an addiction. So it's good the parents know that children do masturbate. So you should watch out for what your child is watching. Even when you have a house managers, please watch out on what they watch because when you're not at home, they are going to Google things. They are going to watch things on YouTube, which your kids are going to access. That's why I was even saying that when your child has to access your phone, make sure that you have left all those sites or you don't give them your password because you could be like, you have left the screen in something, it's probably when they're locking themselves out or the kind of things that they like
nishakuandikia, mbona unani ignore?
Yeah.
The
guys think that
But then ukikam kwangu in a way, I want us to push this forward. I tell you, this is not the right time to do this. Ama, nikwambie by the way, I've been thinking of.
But I have a question. Because you guys mnakwanga like, oh yeah, you should specify the way you present.
No. It's not sisemi ati au kufanya the right thing. Namaanisha kila mtu ana grow. So umesha notice you dem ana grow. Hata jaribu ku grow na yeye.
Mimi nita grow aje na mimi nakula mimi nakula ita. Like you want me to be on camera with you? No, I'm using the exact example. Like this guy is a behind the scenes. When you make the grow celeb,
Tutumie example so it's like wako every time ana win award so Nameless alale tu hapa kwa nyumba kwetu like well wako ame win now she's popular. See Nameless kuna venye hata yatendelea na gig yake it's like kwa Nameless na wahu Nameless win wako na win hivyo kuna hiyo and also hawaachani juu wako hivi si ati mimi naenda hivi na wewe unabaki hapa ati juu ulinisaidia from the initial nitakuacha juu uko hapa bado. No, it feel brutal, but nikuulize, it's only automatic for every human being to move on to a new thing once kitu inachakusaidia.
Just because you got me a job and I've been promoted,
I
have money
now I have money. So now how are you helping me now?
It's not my fault.
How can you help me because I helped you?
No. Me, I'm gonna help you. Why? Like it's like for instance, like sawa basi when you look at the star, right? And then ukaninua nikakuwa star. What stopped you from becoming a better star? So that's where we are wondering, like, so like that's stupid. Like,
no, wait. There's something I'm still not getting. Let's say you host a show. I'm the guy behind the scenes. I control the camera, the lighting, and everything. Every time I come on set, but then you're the face of the show. So you're the one who is like getting brands, endorsing you with whatever. So you go wild. Mimi kazi yangu bado ni camera. See, I'm still not doing what I do.
No, but nikuulize swali. Mr. Tumie hiyo nataka tutumie like example ya venye mtu grow. Suppose tukimit na wewe ulikuwa camera. Si ndio? Aya, tukaanza na show time. Nikapa mahali, mimi nikachukuliwa na NTV. So you're no longer my camera guy. So helping me now. Like sasa it's like it's like sasa mimi sisemi
kwanza ni bado kuongea.
Mimi na get hiyo kitu ya in love. Mimi najaribu kukwambia ulinisaidia tulianza show time. Mimi nimeshatoka show time.
Ukienda huko
sasa mbona siwezi kukusaidia juu ulinisaidia. Sasa nikikwambia babe tutoke show time twende NTV.
Unapata gig. Unajua siwezi toka tu tuende juu umeenda.
Bas, hiyo ni kukusaidia. But suppose niko na gig huko juu niambiaje mimi show time yangu mimi nilianza stoki.
Sasa hapo ndio kusaidika.
Juu hiyo ndio situation yenye vijana wanaonekana wewe msichana. Yeye hata ikusonga hapo.
Now
dem amesonga. So hata wewe itakuwa very unfair huyo dem to just love me the way I am.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know, sasa hapo hata wewe umecross like it's very unfair.
True. That's not going to make sense. Yeah. But some
I've never heard of it. Msichana wa kawaida mwenye anajua mimi legit. I mean, he's got me, he will help me, we are working together na mwache. Na mwabanda na tipu amepanda status. But the time a woman is leaving you to amepanda status, honestly kuna vitu mingi umecontribute. Either you've been putting down, love saying ameinuka, ako like, hi.
It's true. It's rare for a woman to leave.
They don't leave.
Like that. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, contrary to that. Quick one, yeah, I asked that question, it was brushed away.
No, it was not brushed away. I'm coming there right now.
So why are ladies, especially ladies, no stereotype or anything, but they're looking at guys when, I mean, I think 90% of support sex, drug with fun are ladies. And why
They love the muscles.
Testosterone. Testosterone. What can I ask? No, can I ask you like
You know, there's something called fetish. Okay, like okay, let me just bring it back to you guys. Like probably your taste is slim cheeks or like but when you see like a girl with like a big booty and stuff, there's something that you feel this kind of fetish that you like. Yeah? So for the rugby guys, for when it comes to girls, they obviously have muscles and they are sweet and they are strong and they are like this big around. So there's that kind of if you're not going for the game, you're obviously going for something. Yeah? You're going to see these guys like running and seeing their muscles and imagining yourself like God.
Hey, Jesus Christ. I want to go to rugby matches.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like if you're not going for a game, it's like a fetish that you have. That doesn't necessarily mean that when you get a guy, he has to look like that. Okay, it's just the same way like when you see like a girl with a big butt, but you wouldn't want to have that as a wife.
But then it's like watching a girl with big booty and addiction.
Yes. Okay, no. I
don't. But I also like the way you're saying it. Also, I feel like every person has an ideal, of what you expect in a man or a woman. So it's like it doesn't have to be muscles, tall, but every woman expects protection, security. So when you're looking at a rugby guy, he's huge. You need protection. That's protection you're admiring right there. You're just thinking, nobody. And then security. It's like as much as there's this ideal of a woman, in a lady, right? And maybe if you look at Rihanna, oh my God. But haimaanishi utawa Rihanna, na haimaanishi unataka kwenda na Rihanna, na haimaanishi uko na interest, but kuna kitu naangalia na Rihanna yenye like there's a need in men that Rihanna ako nayo like I can see it. Okay,
fun in relationships. For example, you could be having like a very beautiful woman and stuff, but unapata mtu kama yeye anachicho. Let's take like Jay-Z na Beyonce. Wewe ukiangalia Jay-Z usikete Jay-Z aliton Beyonce will like guy. Who say anything? Ukiangalia Beyonce una guy. There's that 10% that she doesn't have, and men tend to that person will tend to go outside there to look for the 10%. And then when they go to look for the 10%, they realize that this person they went to look for, they didn't have the 90% that the other woman had or the other person. So that's that small bit. Probably she doesn't cook nicely, but she's good everywhere. Everything else she's good, but there's that part that she doesn't do. So when you get another person who does it perfectly, it will like blind you or something, you see. So it's more of like fetish or like that part that your spouse or somebody doesn't feel in. You go to look for it
also programming your society. Like the society na program tall, dark, handsome is the handsome guy,
exactly.
and petite with a certain is the beautiful woman. So as much as you want to argue, Mrs. Kizangi, I'm my own person, I will not listen to this. Loki, usijifanye ukiingia Instagram uone tall, dark, and unabaki like why can't I have this? You know, because it's programming. Umesaliwa, this is gold. Who doesn't want gold?
No.
But you see, ukitaka kujua kitu haipangi that person. Suppose you two are married or you're dating. Na tunawatch your rugby. As much as naangalia mse rugby, I'm just like, oh yeah. The thing is, if my girl loves me right, and I protect, and I shield, and I feel vitu zote. Hata tukiangalia mimi hata namwambia mse venye anaka because I like mimi hata sioni huyo mse sasa at this point.
You're seeing him in him.
Sasa si ati lakini ujamweka hiyo mwili uko like hauna hiyo feeling kama like I wish I had that. Itakuwa more like baby checking mse. Alafu muone make fun.
Yeah. That's how you know most girls or most women like it's very sensitive.
way juu acha niongelele like for example it's normal for guys to like turn their heads every time like there's a woman but ni normal you have to know that that is normal. Your man hata kama hata turn hivi ataangalia tu guys waliumba like physically. So how you do what you do like brush it off, you just like make fun of that na hiyo baby yani acha yatona but the moment umejam like mbona muangalia you know it now becomes like it's getting out of make fun of the baby msuku anakaa poa baby anakaa fiti. That's how you like una make fun of it na move on. Yeah, so that was really that point clear. So
very clear. So all the time the guys who are coming from that, who is the right person to take care of? Like we've had a lot of masturbation, and all that. What does can you at least tell me what a sex therapist does as a career? Kufanyia maneno ama kufundishia description kuna matembeo blue pill.
Sex therapist
Yes,
anakuanga like kazi yake si kukufunza tu sex position. So what the therapist sana anakuwa like a mediator, inasema hivyo intermediate hapo katikati, sio like kazi yake ni kwenda like so you like this, you like this, you like this, this position hurts you, this does this that. Ni hiyo communication ni kuwasaidia kucommunicate ati mkienda nyumbani actually you guys are able to have healthy sex without I can't necessarily at your I'll teach you how to do. It's more of like
the sex therapist.
The marriage counselor, obviously, but going on the traditional view of life, the traditional way was you get married, then you have sex. Yeah, that was the traditional. So I would argue a marriage counselor will come first, but with our generation,
right.
I think both. Maybe just get a therapist, not with a therapist. Yeah.
It's a whole different generation. And it changes, not like what our parents were like. It's a whole different generation. And it's good that parents should also be open with sex education. That the schools and the government, they should embrace sex education because we are headed there. I mean, like, I'm not saying we're headed to like having sex at every day, but it's something that is happening and people need to be enlightened about these things. So we're done with this first part. It has been so broad. We're talking about masturbation. So but it has become so broad. So we're going to go to this other section, which is the second last one. The third one exactly. The last. Okay, the last we're going to have story time, and probably we are going to have like people like asking questions. So I'll see you after the break. Thank you.
Hi.
No problem.
But this break is only 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah, na maswali mengi. It should be more like Jerry Spring, whoever remembers that.
Jerry Springer. sometimes unasikia this time we're going to have a sexologist who's coming to talk. Unasikia sex therapist. Unasikia today we're going to have like a drug addiction engineer. Like it wasn't usually Pastor Josh. Alifanya ikwe like, are you Christian? Yes. Do you serve in a church? Yes. What's your field? You should talk. So ulikuwa unapata hata saa ingine that because walinifunza unaona exposure hiyo venye waniongelelea, the kids are very aware of them, they're very aware. Huko sasa mimi walisema tumejificha.
Ladies long if you don't have a Bible up
lakini mnakemewa.
Yeah, Kenya, church ya Kenya iko very traditional. Bado kwa ile like mimi ni pastor, uniheshimu mimi ka pastor. Haiko more like nataka kukusaidia wewe. Cause hiyo ndio difference ya influencers. Cause influencers hata kitambo ujue pastor ni nani.
How old was that church?
It was like 12 years old.
Oh, so it's the whole
Yeah. And then you know how here when you go into a church you already know that's the pastor. Ameweka hapo bishop nini, kuna poster, kuna and then ukiingia akona allocated section yake, sijuwezi msalimia, stuff like that. Over there kuna kitu kama hiyo. Hapo unapata na msee amevaa denim anakatuka mimi hivi anafuta unamsalimia mnaongelesha, fikira akwambia msini